All right, let's jump right in. The material we're digging into today starts with a pretty huge claim. It says, contemporary medicine is facing a real crisis, that it's just not set up to integrate our physical, mental, and, our spiritual sides. This really sets the stage for a proposed solution that is, well, let's just say it's unconventional.
So what is this proposed solution? We're going to explore a concept called neoholistic. And the big question it asks is whether it can offer a brand new blueprint for healing, one that might just answer that crisis we just talked about. The answer from this new paradigm comes in the form of a specific therapeutic model. It's called ACL, and its whole purpose is to try and build a bridge between these worlds that modern medicine often keeps totally separate. So first, what in the world is Neoholística? According to the source, it's not just another flavor of holistic therapy. The key word here is integration. The idea is to take that ancient wisdom, those ancestral practices, and really fuse them with modern scientific evidence in a very rigorous, very structured way.
And the very first model to come out of this new way of thinking is called Alma Corpus Luminis, which is Latin for soul, body, and light. From here on out, we're just going to call it by its acronym, ACL. This is the specific framework we're going to break down today. Now, you really have to understand the background of the model's creator to get where this is all coming from. It's fascinating. He's described as a professor of science, okay? But also an aspiring holistic therapist who works with things like gemotherapy, that's using crystals for healing, and even angelic therapy. Add on top of that his interest in paranormal phenomena and subtle energies, and you start to see the unique mix of perspectives that built the entire foundation of this ACL model.
So how is a model like this actually constructed? Well, it all rests on 6 foundational pillars, and each one pulls from a completely different field, everything from biology all the way to spirituality.
Yep, 6 pillars. And it's right here in these pillars that we see the scientific and the spiritual really start to blend together. So let's break them down one by one.
The first pillar is something called choreographic bioenergetics. So what is it? It's a kind of ritualized dance dedicated to the 7 archangels. The stated goal here is to sync up your breath and your movement to actually boost your body's cellular energy production at the mitochondrial level and essentially turn your body into what it calls a bioenergetic antenna. Next up, we have epigenetics and intention. This pillar puts forward the idea that our focused thoughts, when you combine them with very specific sound frequencies like 432 or 528 hertz, can directly influence how our genes get expressed. The idea is to kickstart regenerative processes right at the cellular level, all without changing your actual DNA code. Pillar number 3 actually dips into physics. It's called spiritual quantum mechanics. What it does is it takes principles from quantum theory, things like the observer effect and resonance, and suggests that you can use focused intention to consciously change your own vibrational reality. The 4th pillar is transpersonal psychology. Here, the model uses symbols, specifically archangelic symbols, as actual tools. The goal is to help a person safely get into expanded states of consciousness, to find deeper personal insights and maybe even a new sense of purpose in life. Pillar 5 brings us back to sound. This one focuses on what are known as the solfeggio frequencies. It's a specific set of musical tones that are believed to have these incredible healing properties. The claim in the source material is that these tones can actually harmonize your brainwaves, bring down stress hormones like cortisol, and just generally improve your mood. And finally, we have the 6th pillar, the transmutation of sexual energy. Now, this pulls from ancient yogic and Taoist traditions. It basically looks at sexual energy as this incredibly powerful creative life force. The idea is that it can be consciously redirected or transmuted away from just the physical and channeled towards higher artistic or spiritual goals. So, okay, we've got these 6 really distinct, really different pillars. But how do they all come together? Like, what does this actually look like in practice? Let's get into the practical application. All that theory gets put into practice with a super structured 16-week protocol. It's not random at all. You start with a 2-week preparatory phase for evaluation, just to establish a baseline. Then, from weeks 3 to 8, you're in the activation phase. This is where they start bringing in the ritual dances and the sound therapies. And finally, for the last half, weeks 9 to 16, it's all about integration, tying all 6 pillars together and really tracking the changes. Tracking progress is a huge part of this model's claim to being scientifically rigorous. So what conditions is it supposed to treat? And how, exactly, do its proponents say they can measure the results? The ACL model is designed as a complementary therapy for a really wide range of conditions. Things like anxiety, depression, chronic pain, even trauma and sleep disorders. The claim is that it works by modulating the nervous system and optimizing how our cells function. And this really gets to the heart of the model's scientific ambitions. To prove that it actually works, ACL proposes tracking concrete, measurable biomarkers. We're talking physiological stuff like cortisol levels and heart rate variability, epigenetic changes like DNA methylation, which basically acts like a dimmer switch for your genes, and even neurological data like brain coherence. The whole idea is to get objective proof of its impact. So all of this, the 6 pillars, the protocol, the biomarkers, it's all building toward a really, really grand vision. Let's take a look at the ultimate goal behind this whole ACL model. And the ambition here is, well, it's not small. The source documents flat out state that this work is meant to position Chile as a global pioneer, creating a whole new path for integrative medicine that starts right there with their research. So, the bottom line is, this isn't just about creating one new therapy. The ultimate goal here is to literally start a revolution in global medicine, to create an entirely new paradigm where science and spirituality aren't seen as being in conflict, but are just two sides of the same healing coin. And honestly, nothing captures this strange and powerful blend of science and spirit more than the final acknowledgement in the research paper. It gives this profound thanks, not just to the usual academic colleagues, but directly to Archangel Saint Michael and the 7 archangels of light for their inspiration and spiritual protection. Which leaves us with this one massive, fascinating question to think about. Can a therapy that combines principles from quantum physics with ritual dances to archangels actually redefine healing for the 21st century? Or, in trying to merge these two completely different worlds, does it end up challenging the very definition of what we even consider to be science?